Hello everyone, it's Melinda here with CatSmashPuzzles, and today we're doing part 2 of the 12-hour Orange County Marathon. So in the previous video, I told you about the chaotic travel plans to get there, the camera issues, and rounds 1 through 6, and how my team is doing up till the 6th round. So, we are sitting in 2nd place at the 5-hour mark in round 6. So it looks like we are successfully getting both of our goals done. The goal of being in the top 5 and trying to get to that 13th round for the 2,000 piece puzzle. Basically completing all 12 rounds of the 1,000 piece puzzles. Now I mentioned before that I didn't get a lot of footage at the beginning and I used the main batteries. I didn't use the dummy battery that I've been using at home here, and I did have a dummy battery that I could plug into a power charger, and I used it for the back half of the marathon. I should have used it for the whole thing because after that I really didn't have an issue with overheating and corrupt footage. And I will happily say this, that the last 6 rounds were filmed. However, the 13th round did not, and I'll tell you why, what happened there, unfortunately. That had nothing to do with overheating. But before I get there, let's go ahead and kind of go over the puzzles, and then I'll run the footage of how we did, and I will go over each puzzle and our times for it. So, let's get started. So I'm going to use my little cheat sheet here. So rounds 7 was the Art and Fable, the Concierge, which I'm very happy that I got this one to take home with because I plan to do it probably for casual purposes. Because Art and Fable, kind of like Truffles, a little bit false-fitty, and I don't want to do that for time. And I was actually out on this puzzle. I had just finished the Tom and Jerry puzzle, so I was a little bit tired. They let me off, and I was able to take a little bit of break. I think this is where I had lunch, actually. So lunch had come in. Everyone had to start eating their sandwiches. I ate more sugar cookies. I did think after this puzzle I was a little fatigued, but it wasn't quite hitting me just yet. So the Concierge was done by Calie, Amy, Christina, and Shea, and they honestly did a pretty good job. I was able to actually go see how the first place team is doing, Karen Puzzle's team, and yeah, they were definitely ahead of us, but I was surprised that this kind of purple sidewalk here was done first by everybody. But yeah, once again, I got kind of pulled in and said, hey, I'm tired. I can't handle this purple and blue graffiti letters, which is not my strength either. Like, they're bubble letters, so it's really not my strength. And so I get out who it was, pulled me in and said, hey, I need to step out for a minute. Completely okay. I had eaten my lunch. I was kind of wandering around the table anyway. And so I stepped in on this one. I did get most of the footage. I think not the very beginning, but I got most of the footage for this puzzle. And going through round 12, I got through all the footage. I'll tell you what happened at the end of it. So, we are now starting with the Concierge, round 7, sitting at 2nd place at the 5-hour mark. Will we get through all 12 rounds in the 12 hours? Will we catch up to 1st place? Let's smash it.
Complete.
Wait. Picture.
What's the situation?
Shea. It doesn't get. Don't put it on mute. No.
Oh. Hang on.
We've got two more raffle prizes to hand out from Team 7.
The bottom.
Yep.
Sorry.
Ba ba da ba ba ba.
missing right here.
Got it.
Are we good?
Yep. It was, but we took it apart the wrong way. Rescue that.
Is that a poster or is this an ad? Oh, of course this one had a bag. Sorry guys, I didn't take the time. Allie, I'm taking your swag. Okay, did you want it?
can, because you have 4. Yeah, you can. Unless someone slips out, right?
Well, you said we could.
Can't bring it.
Yeah, we've been doing it for 10 rounds. Yeah, you put it on the table. And you can come in.
Go. I got it off the table.
I was like... That was a dusty one.
No. Callie, I put your jacket.
Good job. Okay, thank you. Is there a picture now?
Okay, yeah.
Sorted.
Yeah.
Here's the picture. We got, what, an hour and a half to finish it?
Okay.
Hour and 30 minutes. Okay. We can always tag in and out. turn the camera off?
So that was rounds 7 through the beginning of 13. I'll explain. So let's go over each of the puzzles that we did through round 12, and I will go through round 13 at the very end. So round 7 was the Concierge Art and Fable puzzle. Definitely difficult, and like I explained at the beginning, I had to pop in to finish off the graffiti writing, which was not my strength, but I had finished lunch and I was kind of restless, and they pulled me in because someone was tired and they needed a break, and it worked out. I finished this puzzle out with them, and we moved on to the next one, which was the Pizza Shop by Springbok. So this was actually one of the first Springboks I had seen in a speed puzzling competition. So that was kind of interesting. I had actually recently done a couple of Springboks, a 1,000 and a 500 on my own, and so the fact that one popped up, I felt like, oh, okay, I know how Springbok is, so it wouldn't be too difficult. It was a lot of pizza, I'll say that, but it was also a diner and sort of different colors, and I was in charge of the blue and white checkerboard counter. I took charge of that. I said, I'll take care of it. That was a mistake. That should have been the last thing we all did, because that was hard. I did my best. I got a good chunk of it done, like the stools, but I should not have taken that on the first thing. We should have waited at the end for that one. So that was my bad. We should have done that. But I got through it. We got through it, and it was actually not too bad. So the Concierge, we did this in 1 hour and 5 minutes. So this is officially now our slowest puzzle in the marathon. It was hard. The false fits were hard. I think the colors are going to be just difficult with those purple and white graffiti letters. And so that'll be interesting to see how long it takes me. I'll probably do it casually, like I said, so I won't time it, but it'll be a fun one to do. And then for the Pizza Shop, we did it in 52 minutes. So a little bit trickier, but not too bad. And that was me, Calie, Amy, and Kelsi. So I think it was my first time actually teaming up with all 3 of them like that in one puzzle, I believe. Maybe a little bit earlier we did it, but basically it was puzzling without Shea and Christina. And so that was kind of interesting. So one thing I have discovered with Calie is that she's an extremely fast sorter. But she also does it by reaching across the table like I do. I get in the way. Christina has pointed this out to me many times. Hey, you're moving the table. You're getting up over the puzzle. Back up. She has done it. She's asked me politely. I don't mean to. It's just, I like to possess my space. It's a habit. I do it all the time as a solo. And I do it as pairs, and then I do it with teams. And so something I've had to learn to do is kind of back off when I'm in a pair or a team. You have to puzzle a little differently as a team and pair. And so, unfortunately, it's kind of something you have to think about. Puzzling styles, space management, when you're with a pair or team. And I really was impressed with how fast Calie could sort. Like, she was an incredibly fast sorter. She was an incredibly fast flipper. I think she was on par with Shea with flipping, but she was way faster at sorting. But there was a couple times, I think specifically in the Mardi Gras puzzle, where she kind of came across my puzzling area, which I did my best to just kind of move around her, because I knew what she was doing. She was sorting things out. She was getting people puzzle pieces. But it was blocking my view half the time, and I realized it slowed me down. So I let her know about it as politely as I could. I was trying not to be... I'm not trying to be pushy. I'm not trying to be... Like my goal was to say, look, I know what you're doing, and you're very good at it, but it's also hurting me in my puzzling. So we've got to figure out how to maneuver both of our techniques in order to... She does her fast sorting, I do my fast puzzling. So we discussed it a little bit. We definitely think that she should probably be diagonal to me, so that way it wouldn't affect me as much. And I think that worked out better. But man, I think if we had her with Christina, Shea, and I, she sorts that puzzle, we'd be really quick. But man, I do think Calie would be such a extremely good sorter for me, Christina, and Shea, because if she could just hand us pieces, that would be so excellent. So I really did enjoy Callie's efficiency with sorting. I might have to learn some techniques from her. And she said, I will definitely teach you my sorting techniques if you can teach me your speed puzzling techniques. So, works out really well. We now move on to round 9, which is the Oakland Puzzle Company Spring Day on Lombard. And that is an actual lot of green on this puzzle. It was pretty. There were buildings. I immediately took hold of the buildings and said, I'll do that. I think Christina took the sky. It was me, Calie, Amy, and Christina on this one. And so I do remember at this point, I think I started to fatigue. I felt it. It felt like an energy drain for me about halfway into this puzzle. And I felt it. And it's like, okay, you've got to keep going, though. You can't just dive off on this one. And so I definitely felt it on this puzzle. I did get things done. I got them done quickly. We got this greenery one done. And we finished it in 53 minutes, which is not bad. So these puzzles are definitely a little bit on the harder side if we're a fast team and we're finishing it over that 50-minute mark. Now, I guess I'll kind of put it here. How are we still doing in the rankings? We're still in second place, but the first place team has pulled well ahead of us at this point. And so we're kind of just ignoring them and just doing our own thing. We're trying to get past round 12. That's our goal. But we've also pulled ahead of third place. We weren't in danger in third place at this point. We were a little bit like in round 5-ish, we were a little concerned, but we had pulled away too. So first and second, I think we were pretty secure as long as we get through each puzzle the same way we've been doing it. But third and fourth and fifth place were all fighting with each other. So they were bouncing back and forth and who's doing what and all that. So there was a good fight back behind us. But we first and second were pulling ahead. And we were pretty confident. So Oakland Spring Day was a bit difficult. I would have also liked to take that one home. But again, each of us got 2 puzzles. And then the next puzzle I think was one of my favorite puzzles. And it was a pomegranate puzzle. And it's called Begilded by the Wild. And it is purely cartoon splattered colors everywhere, and we knew this would be a very fast puzzle, and we really had a lot of fun with it. It was Christina, Shea, and I, and Kelsi. So we honestly had a lot of fun with it. It was just, we each grabbed colors, we each did our sections. Now, the hardest part was the white and black at the end, but it was a very fast puzzle, and we got this one done in 43 minutes. So yeah, it was a fast puzzle, not quite under 40 minutes, but it was also a panoramic, which was kind of interesting. But yeah, I think Shea took that one home. She really liked it, and I think it was a fun puzzle. But at this point, again, I'm fatiguing, I'm tired. I mean, I've only not done one puzzle. I've done not round 2, and I'm now on round 10. Now, to be fair, I've only popped in on a couple puzzles at the end here and there, but I still was doing at least 20 to 20 minutes on those puzzles. So I'm very tired. And so the next puzzle, round 11, was a New York Puzzle Company puzzle called Fun in the Sun, which was cars, which would have been my strength, honestly. But I was tired. I kind of basically said, look, I need a break. I need to rest. I probably need the whole puzzle not to do at this point because I felt my energy draining and I just needed to sit. I was still a busybody, still went around, did things. You know, I had to go to the bathroom. I had to go eat something, drink something, get myself a little bit oriented, but I think I sat in the break room for this one for a little bit because I needed to mentally give myself a break. I was tired, and I definitely could tell at the very end of the pomegranate puzzle I was slowing down. And I don't want to be a detriment to my team, so I basically just said, hey, I know this one I'm not supposed to be doing. I'm not going to kind of hop in on this one. If you need someone to hop in, ask the second person who's out. I need a break. So this is the one puzzle. This is the second puzzle I never touched, which is fine with me because I did a New York puzzle recently with 1,000 pieces and it was not fun. But I didn't hear much on this one. It was okay. It was sortable. There was very much different color cars, and I think the white car was the hardest one from what I understand. It was Calie, Kelsi, Shea, and Amy, and I do think Christina popped in and Calie was out for a little bit. Because me and her were talking in the break room for a little while. So that puzzle was the second and only puzzle I did not touch. But after I sat for a little bit, ate some food, got my energy back, I came back in for the 12th puzzle, which was definitely a strength of mine. And they labeled it as rose art, but I think it was a Kodak puzzle. And it's called Colorful Waterfront Buildings, Amsterdam. And I think I've done something similar with like this puzzle, and so I felt like I was definitely at home. But while I got my energy back from my break, I was a bit loopy. I was a little bit out of it. Like I was tired. Like my physical body was reset from the break, but my mental, I was just kind of out of it. I was in charge of the pink building, I believe, and the purple building, and so I got that done. We got sections done, but surprisingly, this puzzle took us 52 minutes. And the car puzzle took us 53 minutes. So, yeah, there was a pretty consistent, we're over the 50-minute line. But I feel like if I had been at my full strength, like it had been the first puzzle, we would have been like at 45. But I think I was tired mentally and physically, and it was just reflecting that. I think we all were. I don't think it was just on me that caused the slowdown, but we definitely had a lot of things going on. And I don't know if I could tell the footage, but we started cracking jokes. We were goofing off. We were a little, I want to say, loopy. Like we sounded like we were having a lot of fun. We were just making jokes and just being goofy, I can say. But I enjoyed that puzzle. It was a lot of fun. But we got through all 12 rounds. So that means the 13th round was a 2,000 piece puzzle. And that puzzle was called Quality Journey Through the USA. It is a 2,000 piece truffle puzzle. And when I heard it was truffle, I'm like, oh boy, more false fits. Which it was. And back to my footage issues, I turned the camera off because it had been going on for the 6 rounds. Like I turned it off here and there for a couple minutes to just let it cool down for a second, but turned it back on. It was going strong. I forgot to turn it back on. I had it turned on at the beginning of the 2,000 piece puzzle, and then it got turned off and forgot to turn back on. So I do not have the finish of it, which was very sad because the finish was ironic and a little sad, just a little sad, and you'll see in a minute. But I'll kind of explain how the 2,000 piece went. We each had like a section. It was, postcard type thing. So some of it was, sortable, some of it wasn't. But you go from a 500 piece to 1,000. It's a lot of pieces. You go from 1,000 to 2,000. There is such an obvious increase in piece count. It's a lot. And we're at the end of the 12-hour mark, and we're like, ooh, this is tiring. But we were going to try to see if we can finish it. Now, what about the first place team? Well, they did finish the 2,000 piece. They were moving on to the 14th round. And I'm glad we never went to that one. Let's go ahead and explain what happened with the 2,000 piece. So, I was in charge of kind of this yellowish orange gradient section, and there was a false fit I had put in, and it was messing me up for probably 10 minutes. And I had it in the wrong spot. I was trying to figure out pieces. It was also a lot of space management issues because, we had puzzle boards, but 2,000 pieces is just so much to manipulate, move around, and we did our best. We got through a lot of it. And then the last section was the bridge I was kind of in charge of, which I'm good at. I'm good at bridges. So I was doing that, finishing it up. And then the countdown started for 5 minutes. We were so close to finishing this 2,000 piece puzzle. We're like, we gotta finish it. We're getting there. We hit the gas so hard in the last 5 minutes. But we didn't finish it. We missed the finish by 33 pieces. It was so close. All we needed was 1 more minute. We would have finished it. Between the 4 of us, 33 pieces, boom, it would have been gone. Done with. It was so close. I don't know how to explain it. It was just, we were disappointed, but we were so proud of ourselves at the same time. But they thankfully let us finish the puzzle, so we have a good picture of the full thing. It was a lot of fun. Now, real quick, if you did do the 2,000 pieces, that went back to Orange County. The teams did not take that home. All the other 12 puzzles, though, were taken home by the team members who participated. So yes, we did not quite finish the 2,000 piece, but we achieved our goal of getting all 12 1,000 piece puzzles done. So I'm very happy with our Texan team for getting all 12 rounds done and moving into the 2,000 pieces. But what was our final result? We were second place the whole time. Did we still end up in second? Did we pull ahead? Did third place sneak up on us? Nope. We stayed second, and we got second place. Where we have a medal and a certificate of second place. Where we finished 13,967 pieces in 12 hours. Thank you, William. Thank you, Lisa. Orange County Speed Puzzlers co-founders, my team name, and me, and each of my team members got a certificate and medal. I am so proud of our Texan team. We did such a great job. How did first place do? They did 15,246 pieces. So they were about halfway through the second 2,000 piece puzzle, I believe. And from what I understand, it was a Buffalo Games puzzle with a lot of white on it. So our goal wasn't to go to the next 2,000. We just wanted to finish that one 2,000. And then third and fourth place had started the 2,000 piece, but they hadn't gotten very far. So the top 4 teams out of all 34 teams that participated got into the extra rounds, basically. So 4 teams finished all 12 rounds. And all teams finished, I think, the top 3 puzzles. Maybe just the top 2. I think a few teams, unfortunately, got stuck on the treble one for Waikiki Beach, but I know for a fact everyone finished the first puzzle, and I'm like 99% sure everyone finished the second puzzle. But I think a few teams got stuck on the Waikiki Beach one. So I do think that the puzzle choices were great. Beautiful puzzles. There could have been a few that I would have maybe have changed up a little bit. I think the Mardi Gras one was a mistake. I think that's my least favorite one of the bunch. But otherwise, they're all beautiful puzzles. I was very happy with them. And shout out to a few other teams. Unsupervised Adults, which was Melinda, Kenzie, and Kyle's team. Isa with her Twitch puzzling team, I think was Queer Puzzling, if I'm not mistaken. And then I think there was Becca and Heather were USA board members, were on a team Hot Dishes. And I think they got third or fourth. But third and fourth place were the difference of like 70 pieces. So there wasn't a much difference. And I'll post here for the team names and all. And, you know, I kind of feel like that was what made it more exciting. They had a competition going with each other. They kind of bounced back and forth. And I think my unsupervised adults got 5th place, if I believe, or 4th. I'm losing track of who got what. It was an interesting thing to see. But yes, Karen Puzzle's team got 1st place. It was definitely not their first rodeo. They've done marathons before, specifically this one, and so I'm not surprised. For my first marathon, not bad for 2nd place. Can't complain about it. We were in the top 5. We finished all 12 rounds. And we got to take home some cool puzzles. And yes, this puzzle here is a prize puzzle. I believe the top 5 teams got certificates, the top 3 teams got medals and prize puzzles. And I barely was able to fit these puzzles into my suitcase because I really packed as light as I could. I had one carry-on and one backpack. And my carry-on was basically full of my camera stuff. So yeah. I didn't exactly have much room. Poor Shea had to stuff the Ravensburger in her suitcase because I had to compress my suitcase due to the airline. And so yeah. I was a little bit... I took one more puzzle I should have, more than I could have home, basically. I had room for 2, I had 3. That was the 12-hour Orange County Marathon. 2nd place, Texan team. Couldn't be more proud of us. I think we did such a great job, despite the issues of not planning, not having the time to plan, just doing it on a whim, honestly. we had the skills, we had the speed, we got it done. We had a lot of fun, too. Honestly, teaming up with a 2,000-piece puzzle was quite a different challenge than a 1,000-piece. It's even more daunting than you think it is. And yes, I have my... I don't know what I want to do with this, but I think I want to keep it. It's written all over the place, but yeah. And they also, during the event, they had, like, raffles and stuff like that. They were doing some fun things in between. And there were other types of contests you could do. So you had the most decorated tables, and I think there were definitely 2 teams that were standouts. One basically had theirs as like a beach vibe. It had like the tiki torches and beach stuff going on. I think another team just had like balloon archway, and I'm not exactly sure what the theme was, but they had a lot of things going on. And then one team, a lot of people had matching shirts, which we did. We had the Texas JPA shirts. But then I know that the one team won the costume contest, and they basically had like these puzzle piece jewelry. It was really kind of cool. It looked like some kind of old gangster hip hop or something, and so it was kind of funny. So they had the best costumes, they had the best table designs. So we didn't quite do any of that, sadly, but we just didn't quite, I guess, have the time. I thought about getting like a Texas flag thing around our desk, but that wouldn't have won anything. It was pretty bland of an idea anyway. So, but yeah, there were other things going on. Sadly, no one on our team got a raffle prize. I think it was rigged. We were kind of joking it was rigged. It was all the Californians winning. But I think ultimately this was such a successful event. I do think that if I go to another marathon, it'll be down in Houston. So I don't think I'll probably do the California one anytime soon. I believe next year they'll be doing the 24-hour marathon, but I don't think I have the time to do that one, unfortunately, because I'll be going to the World Series and more than likely Nationals, depends on where it is. As of the filming, I still do not have no one knows where it's going to be located. I think they're finalizing it. We'll probably know at the end of August, maybe early September. But until then, Nationals is kind of unknown too. So we'll have to see. The next speed puzzling competition I have in person is the DFW Showdown at the end of July. So that'll be my next one. And then I think after that, there's going to be a bit of a break for in-person competitions. I'll still do my Zoom ones. I did order some EJJ puzzles, European Jigsaw Jam, so I'll be doing some of those as well. Excited. I also paired up with Christina to do some of the pair versions of that. And I think there's a team one we'll be doing too. It's all by Zoom or at least offline submission. So there's no in-person competitions. It's all local and I can just meet up with them. So those are the plans. It'll give me a kind of a good opportunity to do non-competition puzzles, which is kind of what I've been doing a lot of those lately. So I really like to try to get through my stack of puzzles here. Also work on trying to maybe get my streaming started, which I do plan to still do. I just got to work on my videos here, and then I'll start maybe getting that going. I'll definitely let you know when my first stream will be, and y'all can be looking forward to that. But 12-hour Orange County Marathon. Yeehaw and Jigsaw. I think we smashed it. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.